You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a successful motivational speaker and trusted life coach, Nancy knows how you can live the life you want regardless of the challenges you face. Although she's legally blind, Nancy's mission is to inspire others to overcome obstacles and live life full out. Call in at 800-333-0001 to ask Nancy for advice on topics such as relationships, finances, business, health, and more. Just call 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about when we're in overwhelm. We've all been there. I think on a daily basis, we all get some sort of overwhelm. But how do you pull that back? How do you regain control in your day and feel free to live full out in life and not be so burdened by the everyday tasks and things going on? That is what we want to focus on today. So you want to think about where in your life are you feeling those stresses, that you're feeling those burdens, and how can we relieve you from that? And also, we're going to be taking your calls. Again, the number to call in is 800-333-0001. Again, 800-333-0001. We'd love to hear from you and be able to give you that support. In the next segment, we're going to be joined by our inspirational guest, Becky Olson. Now, she's a 3-time breast cancer survivor. Believe it or not, though, recently she's been diagnosed for a 4th time. She's walking the walk. She's talking the talk. She gives it to us very real. Yet she's so inspiring, so you don't want to miss her story. Now, we want to make sure that you are supported, every day, beyond this show today. So if you want to hear this show again or any of our shows, go to livingfullout.com, click on our radio show tab, and all the episodes will be waiting there for you. We also want to make sure that you have the resources you need to get out of overwhelm. So feel free to reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Again, that's connect@livingfullout.com. And lastly, again, we're all about sharing this community and inspiring each other. With that in mind, if you have a story that you think would empower our audience, I want you to email us, again, at connect@livingfullout.com. Let us know what tragedy, crisis, or even disability you've survived. We'd love for you to give us that motivation to keep us all out of overwhelm each day. So we look forward to hearing from you in any way that you'd like to reach out. Now, I am getting word from our producer that we have a caller on the line. We're going to go ahead and say hello. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Thank you.
Hi, Nancy. This is Amy.
Well, hi, Amy. Thank you for joining us. How can we help you today?
Yeah, I ran a couple of half marathons, and I'm really trying to train again to run another one, and I'm just lacking the motivation, and I was hoping that you could help me so I don't keep putting it on the back burner.
Well, first of all, I admire you so much for running and even doing that. That's impressive. So you want to remember.
Yeah.
You want to remember how impressive that is, right?
And it was hard, but it's worth it.
Now, here's what I'm thinking. First of all, I would pull some pictures from back in the day when you were running, when you were training. Try to find pictures of when you were happy. Maybe people that you met through that experience of training. And you want to surround yourself with those pictures. Put a couple in the car, put a couple in the bathroom, anything that you can do to keep you motivated. Also, in the past, when you've been training, what songs have fired you up? Put together a playlist, whether it be on your iPhone or some other device that maybe you work out to, and surround yourself with music that's going to empower you, take you back to that time, get you excited, or maybe even songs that you've heard recently that give you that same motivation of where you want to go. Also, I would consider an accountability partner. Those are very helpful. I'm sure even in your past trainings, you've trained with other people. Have you tackled all of that? Have you put that together in terms of giving you that empowerment?
Yeah, no, those are great. That's great advice, because I really probably am struggling because I don't have someone to do it with. So I think maybe my husband is in for a rude awakening today, that he's going to be running a half marathon with me soon.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. It might be your husband. It might not. Who knows? There's that 6 degrees separation, right? Put out an email to
Sure.
friends and family or coworkers or people in your area and say, listen, I'm going to start running for this marathon. Now, I'm not saying you have to run with me, but would anybody train with me? And I bet you could put together a team of supporters, your husband being one of them, but you could alternate different people. And that extra energy of different voices to run with and talk to might just give you that extra edge. So I would put all that
Yeah, that's a
together,
great
and
idea.
then I would love for you to call back into the show and let us know how it goes.
Okay, I will. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I believe in you. You'll do great.
Okay, thanks. I needed that.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
You know, sometimes we just have to remember that we can do it. Doesn't have to be alone, but we have to reach out to other people and allow us all together to get closer and closer to our dream. For our last caller that's running a marathon, I'm so excited for her. Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. We have another caller waiting for us. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out show.
Hi there.
Hi. Thank you
my
for
name's
calling.
Megan.
Yes.
Yeah. So I am a student right now, or just recently graduated. And I'm working 3 jobs, and I'm involved in like a slew of activities, and it's kind of the first time that it's all been very intentional. And like they all add value, but I feel like I'm spread so thin right now that I'm getting to the point where like it's adding value to my life, but I don't think I'm giving it the same value, and I'm just not sure how to like get rid of something, or like, you know, really be intentional about the work that I'm doing right now.
You know, you bring up such a great question, and sometimes life gives us experiences because we need them. And what I'm trying to say is I think life is giving you this experience so that you can learn how to say no, or maybe not right now, maybe later. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I'd love to help you, but can we find another time? It's just my sense of you so far is you're probably a yes girl. And that is awesome, because a yes girl is a get it done girl. And honestly, you're probably going to make huge successes in your future. But we don't want you to burn out, right? So try to find a way in which you can, I guess, cherry pick the things that you need to do the most. There's going to be the most urgent, which is anything school related, right? You want to do well in school, you want to graduate. Then the next might be if you have a job that brings you money to pay for things, that might be your next priority. And then from there, it filters out. But some of the clubs, or if you have internships, you have to ask yourself, you know, is this A, burning me out? Number 2, you know, did I accept this too soon? Should I have waited till next year? Whatever that might look like. So what you want to do is prioritize, and then put together a plan of what items on your list, or I guess I should say activities, can you release from your current schedule? Not give them up completely, but maybe defer them to 6 months from now, 3 months from now, and just start shuffling things around. Okay. And then the last thing I want to say to you is what you're experiencing right now, how you don't want to let anybody down. You're not sure if you're giving your best. Remember, anything that you do in life, you're putting your name to it, right? When you do an exam, your name's on it. When you accept a job, your name's on the application or any other paperwork they have you sign, right? When, you know, when you know, all of that draws back to you. So you want to make sure that you're able to give your best, right? And as a leader, because my sense of you is that you're also a leader in all these things you do, help and coach other people to navigate these waters too. Learn it for yourself now, and then give other people that same freedom and space. You see that?
Yeah, I do.
So life is actually knocking on your door right now, saying, knock, 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 you're going to be amazing in the future, but I need you to learn these lessons now so you can have that space and energy to be so amazing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. That's definitely good advice. Definitely what I needed to hear, because it's been, I don't know, I think everything that I'm involved in is worthwhile. It's just a matter of, can I do it all? Can I really do it all? Is that plausible.
Well,
but I have someone tell me, like, nope, slow down. It's definitely what I need sometimes.
well, I suggest you make that list, prioritize it, and just defer some things away. It's not that you can't ever do them, just defer them away for a little bit. Okay, but thank you so much for calling in.
No, thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Such great questions, right? How do we get out of that frenzy, that spiraling out of control feeling? You can get out of overwhelm. That's all about living full out, stepping into that energetic space that's yours, all yours. Now, stay with us in the next segment. We're going to have Becky Olson on the show. Again, her story is amazing. You don't want to miss it. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and we will be right back.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic.
Maybe you could be an outdoor cat that lives in our neighbor's yard, 3 doors down.
Mom.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same. Your daughter is having trouble learning French. Do you A, hire a tutor?
Bonjour.
B, enforce a French-only rule at home? Or C, watch some foreign films? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same. You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Drop that baby. Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Papa!
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. A professional motivational speaker, Nancy can help you overcome obstacles and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Nancy Solari and this is the Living Full Out show. And today we're talking about overwhelm. That was the word, that one word, overwhelm, right? When we're in it, we can't say it so calmly. We're in a spiral. We're all festered up inside. How do you get out of that pain? How do you get out of that frustration? A lot of times it's the support of other people. I will tell you there have been times, and my producer can't raise his hand and talk to you right now, but Rich on our radio team, where I have had times where my computer won't talk, because I have the special talking software that reads all my emails to me and does certain things. And he's always been a source of strength when things are going wrong. He can help me out. Or maybe there's times when I lose something in my home because I can't see it. I drop it and I can't find it. I feel all over on the ground and really need that item. You know, I then go to my neighbor and say, hey, can you help me look for this on the ground? The thing is when we get to a point in our life when we feel like everything is spiraling out of control, like, you know, we don't know how we're going to get back on course, you do have to reach out to others in your life so that they can give you the strength, they can give you the support that you need to know that it's going to be okay. And you just know that as you go through this show today, you can be that support for somebody else as well. Now, it's interesting. Our inspirational guest today is Becky Olson, and she has been a 3-time breast cancer survivor, most recently diagnosed for a 4th time. And you better believe it, she's needed the support of her family, all of her medical team, her colleagues and friends at Breast Friends, her foundation. The thing is the supporters in our life, and us being there for other people, that's what it's all about in getting out of overwhelm into a place of peace. So I'd like to welcome our inspirational guest today, Becky Olson, to the show. Hello, Becky.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. I'm great. You know, the topic of what we're talking about today is not so great, right? We're talking about when we're in times of overwhelm, and you could write a book on it. Being in and out of all these different cancer treatments. And, you know, you've really had to channel peace in many ways. But can you take our audience back to when you were first diagnosed with breast cancer and how you detected it?
The first time was back in 1996, and I'd gone in for a routine mammogram, and we found the lump on the mammogram, and it was quite surprising, actually. I didn't know it was going to be there.
And any females listening right now, I mean, we all worry about feeling that lump. I know my mom's a breast cancer survivor as well, and I'm always, you know, checking and hoping that I won't get it. And when you were finally diagnosed, when you got the news that it was breast cancer, were you? I mean, obviously you would have been scared, but what was your mentality? Because you're such a go-getter. Were you like, what do we got to do to get this done? Or were you scared of your future? What was your mindset?
You know, initially, Nancy, I was very, very frightened. It came out of the blue. I mean, I'd found a lump there a few years ago, but, you know, before that, but they told me it was fibrous tissue, and not to worry about it, and I didn't. And so when it actually turned out to be cancer, I was scared. I cried. I went through all those same emotions that I think that we all go through. But then I kind of switched gears, and I couldn't get rid of it soon enough. Mm-hmm. I got to a point where I just wanted it out. We scheduled all the surgeries and everything right away, and just started moving forward.
And you did have quite the cocktail of drugs that you were managing to get rid of this cancer. And you've done this dance 3-4 times now. But of course, that very first time, you thought it would just be one time. What was the mixture of medication that you were doing at that time to get rid of it?
The main one was called adriamycin. They lovingly call it the Red Devil because really it's a pretty heavy-duty drug. And so that was the main thing. I did 4 treatments of that, and then we switched to some other things at that point in time. And but yeah, it's kind of a big one. It causes you to lose your hair right away.
And on that note, you did something that I really admire, and I think we all need to take to heart when we're in that place of overwhelm. You added humor to the moment of losing your hair. Can you share with us that story?
Well, yes, my daughter, when I was starting my hair and I knew it was going to go, my daughter came up to me and said, "Mom, I know you've always wanted to be a blonde, and we're going to turn you into one." And there's a story there, but I don't have time to go into all of it. But she basically went to the store and brought home a box of platinum blonde hair dye, and she tried to dye me blonde because I was only going to have my hair for a week, might as well enjoy it. And it didn't turn blonde, it turned kind of cream of tomato soup orange. But the point was I laughed, and it made everything better at that moment, just being able to laugh about it. And I can remember that like it was yesterday, and that was 21 years ago.
Sometimes laughter is the best medicine, and it's hard to find that moment of laughter. But what I love is that your daughter stepped in as a supporter and said, "I'm going to make my mom happy." And again, I think it's important to know that we can all do that for each other. Now, here you were diagnosed, but finally you got rid of it, right? And you thought you'd passed it. You thought you were free. But how long was it before you were diagnosed a second time?
It was 8 years later. I was in the shower and I felt a lump in the shower, and I'd had mammograms every month. Every year up to that point. So that one really surprised me.
Now, was this in the same breast or different breasts?
No, it was on the left side.
And at that point, do you think, what's going to happen to me? That unknown, that I fixed it once, I can fix it again. What was your mental state the second time?
That one was different because the one thing I'd always said from the first time was that the only thing worse than hearing you have breast cancer would be to hear that you have it again. And then when I got it again, I actually had a whole different reaction to it. And it was kind of like, been there, done that, I can do this again. It was exactly the same type of breast cancer that started over again. It wasn't a recurrence. So I kind of had a sense of what to expect.
And what was the remedy for that one?
On that time, we did a double mastectomy because the first time I did a lumpectomy. So we did a double mastectomy, removed both breasts, and this time I just had chemo. And I was only able to take 2 more doses of that Red Devil, and then they switched me to something else because there's a lifetime maximum that you can have.
And I
got rid of it.
And you finally got rid of it, which was good. Now, Becky, I want you to stay with us because we have to take a commercial break, but there is more to her story, and it's just, again, I have so much respect for you. So I love your story. I love that you're a warrior, a survivor. So everybody stay with us. We'll be right back with Becky Olson. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. Stay with us.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants. Oops.
It's pretty.
Maybe I'll sit
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Our family is no less than any other family.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a trusted life coach, Nancy will help you overcome setbacks and embrace all life has to offer. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about how to get out of times when we're in complete overwhelm. Life is just spiraling out of control. And the thing is our inspirational guest today, Becky Olson, no stranger to that. I mean, overwhelm has been a part of her story, but she's also a survivor, truly a warrior in getting through those tough times, being diagnosed with breast cancer 3 times, and most recently a 4th time. So I'd like to welcome Becky back to the show.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi there. So in our last segment, you shared with us about your diagnosis the first time and the second time, and you would think, gosh, getting rid of your breasts, doing all the treatments you did, that red devil, everything, all those cocktails, for sure, this journey was done. You were free from cancer. How long after the second diagnosis did your third diagnosis come?
It was 5 years later, and we caught it on a routine PET scan. By then, since I had no breasts anymore, I was doing PET scans that kind of looks for hot spots in your body, and that's how we found it. And boy, was I in shock that time.
Well, and Becky, I just have to wonder, because I mean, both times with diagnosis 1 and 2, there was that fear factor. First time more fearful than the second time. Second time you were like, I got this, I can do this. But this third time, I mean, you didn't even have breasts anymore. How did you digest that news?
That one was hard, and it was frightening, because what that meant, and this time it was actually a recurrence of the second time. And with all those years in between, 5 years there, that's a scary thought, because now it means that the breast cancer has probably at least regionally metastasized, and that puts it in a whole different realm to me. And I didn't know if I was going to live or die, honestly. I really didn't know how I was going to survive this one when it first happened.
And what was the strategy at this point to overcome cancer the third time?
Well, as far as the medical treatment goes, the only thing they really had available to them was radiation. And because the chemo had already failed, I'd already had my lifetime max of what I could do there, and we couldn't surgically remove it. So radiation was my only option. And we did 38 doses of radiation, burned the heck out of me. It was pretty miserable, but it seemed like it did the job.
And it did.
The last 8 years I've been clean.
Yeah, I mean, it did do the job. And I'm sure every one of those 8 years, you were like, finally, it's over, it's over. But
yeah,
when did you?
It was.
But when did you most recently get diagnosed again for the fourth time?
September was. I went in for my routine PET scan again in September, and then lo and behold, we find another hot spot. We did a biopsy on it, and it was recurrent breast cancer again, and it was pretty much in the same spot as it was last time. So again, don't have the option of surgically removing it. So we did. I'm on a new drug, which is. This is the exciting thing, Nancy. There are new drugs now, new treatments that they did not have available back then. And so I'm on that, and I'm also doing radiation again. Mm-hmm. And we're hoping for a good outcome this time.
Oh, you will get a good outcome. You will, I have no doubt. And we need to talk to the universe, the big man upstairs. We need to tell him to keep her healthy, please. She's gone through it. And when I talk about, overwhelm in this show and in how you really have mastered it is, again, you've added humor to it. You've wanted to educate people, so much so that you created a foundation called Breast Friends. What is that?
Breast Friends is a nonprofit organization, and we provide emotional support to women who are going through this journey. It's a very scary thing to go through alone. And even if you have friends and family, if they haven't been there, they don't really understand what you need. And that's what we offer. We understand what they need. You can ask us tough questions, and we're there to just be a support for you for whatever, in whatever way. And we've lived this for 17 years now as an organization, and we just continue to get people calling us. It's really been, it's kind of why I feel like God put me on this earth, was to do something like this. And He's given me great experience,
Well, and that was actually my next question is, how do you grapple with the why me question? I mean, why me am I diagnosed a fourth time? How do you answer that?
Nancy, everybody survives something. We all go through stuff. And I think the key thing for me and the way I've kind of coped with it in the best way possible is I look for the blessings in it. And every single time that I've been diagnosed, there's been something in that diagnosis that I was supposed to learn. And each time I keep thinking, okay, I've got this now. I can quit learning any time, but apparently not. So there keep coming new things toward me, and every time, including this time, there's a new lesson in it for me this time as well. And I think when we look for the blessings, we stop focusing on the negative, and we start seeing what we're supposed to get from it. And cancer is not funny, but there are funny moments, and so we embrace those funny moments, and we kind of treasure the relationships that we build and develop as a result. And I think that if we can look at it that way and not try to go through it alone, and you can get so isolated if you allow yourself to do that. And so looking for the blessings, finding ways to laugh at your circumstances, and staying connected to people who understand, I think are the key ways to get through it.
Well, I love that, and great tips for us all to apply. I mean, I know even in my life, being legally blind, I have to laugh at myself. I have to laugh at situations, or truly, I want to cry. So cry or laugh, Nancy, decide. I'd rather laugh. But the thing is well, let's talk about these life lessons, because one of the lessons that you learned was choosing your words. And I think that was so fantastic when I learned about this part of your story, because for a long time you had a certain mantra that you would say to audiences when you would talk to them. This was just after your first diagnosis. When you got your second diagnosis, the words that you were saying to other women changed. What were those words and what changed for you?
Well, and actually it was the third diagnosis that got me to change the words. And,
okay.
What was happening is at the end of every, I was like when, because I do speak in front of audiences, and at the end of it, I would always say something along the lines of, breast cancer is not necessarily a death sentence anymore. More women survive than ever before, et cetera. And then I kind of left it there. And on my third diagnosis, when a pharmaceutical rep came into my office and said to me, knowing I was going through it for the third time, said, well, the good thing about breast cancer is it's not a death sentence anymore, and women just don't die from it anymore. And I just felt the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and I got really kind of quiet, and I internalized what she said, and it kind of made me angry. But then I started thinking, why am I reacting this way? And then it occurred to me that the words I was saying weren't that different from what she said to me. And so what happened was I used that third battle, and I think that's why I went through it, because I needed to feel what that felt like. And so here I am in the middle of my third battle, fighting for my life, and somebody says that to me. And I have no idea if I'm going to live or die still at that point. So now when I'm on a stage and I'm talking, I'll tell women that the good news is more women survive than ever before, but we still lose far too many. And we need to support and lift up each other, because we all need to, support to go through this. So that's kind of changed, is just understanding that if I say that this is no longer a death sentence or anything even closely related, and you just lost your mom or your sister or you yourself are fighting for your life, it doesn't feel real. And then it discounts everything else I just said.
Right.
So
I
had
get
to
that.
learn it, and I had to learn it the hard way.
And it's interesting to know that cancer can teach us positive lessons. It can allow us to really cherish time. I mean, you were working a corporate job, and really one that you didn't like, that you were able to finally courageously step out of. But if you'd had cancer, do you think you would have left that job?
Maybe eventually, but I'm not sure what condition I'd be in. My life was crazy before my cancer diagnosis. And my cancer diagnosis actually was a blessing, and it kind of brought some normalcy back into my life, which I know sounds weird, but, I was in sales, and I was at the top of my game. I was selling well and doing great when cancer hit. And I always kind of joke about, I always kind of picture God sitting on his throne saying, this girl's going the wrong way. I got to turn her around. And he did. He allowed this diagnosis. And it's like, whoa, I had to revisit my priorities and think about all my kids. I had 5 kids, and I hardly saw them because I was working 14 to 16 hours a day. It was insane. And so that cancer diagnosis at least got me turned around.
Yeah. I mean,
but the second one, 8 years later, that's the one that really hit me, because it's like I started getting sucked back into that same lifestyle. It took a while, but I started going that way again. And I picture God saying, okay, she almost got this right. Let's try it again.
He does have a sense of humor. But again, it's one of those things where, it took multiple times, now 4 times, but each time you've learned more and more lessons, and you've grown. And as we close out this interview, we just have about 1 minute or so left here. What advice do you have for somebody who's on that first diagnosis or even their 5th diagnosis?
Don't try to go it alone. Let people in. If people want to help you, embrace that. Too many women say they can do it by themselves, and they can't. It's really hard. So let people in.
You know what? You are just awesome and such a light in this world. And keep telling your story. Keep encouraging people. That's what your purpose is. That's what you're meant to do. And we very much thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Nancy.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what a treasured story, because the thing is for Becky, it's cancer. For me, it's RP, retinitis pigmentosa, my blindness. For somebody else, it might be diabetes. For someone else, it might be a divorce or heartbreak. We're all going to have those moments that we're going to spiral into overwhelm. But support of others, knowing that we can get through it, that's what it's all about. So again, I encourage you to call into the show if you need that support. Let's get you out of that frenzy place and get you into a more peaceful one. And we'll be coming right back after this messages, taking your calls. And again, this is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. Stay with us. We'll be back.
in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. 1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
When you're overwhelmed, it's important to tell your body, calm down, it's going to be okay. I really believe in self-talk, positive affirmations. Now that may seem something that is outrageous to some, but I promise you, you can be your best friend. You can be your best advocate to get you out of overwhelm, living your life full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a certified life coach, Nancy can help you to overcome challenges and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you again for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about overwhelm. I can tell you that when I get overwhelmed, I just have to calm down. I just have to find a way to release the stress that's, building up in my body. And one of the ways I do that is I go for a walk. Just get out of my environment. Other times I might just toss myself into the shower. Believe it or not, just refreshing our face, our body can change the energy and the emotions that are circulating through in our body. Sometimes it's calling a friend and not complaining about what's stressing us out, but going completely off topic and asking that friend, how was their day? Don't even talk about yourself, because when we complain and when we go on and on and on about what is festering inside us, the stress stays within our body. So you want to do things to switch your energy. When you're feeling it building inside you, don't wait until it hits like level 10 and it's hard to pull yourself back and get you on a more positive track. The minute you know your day is slipping or something is really gnawing at you and you're getting more and more angry, sad, or frustrated, that's when you want to switch that energy. Walk, shower, talk to a friend, you name it. And you might have other remedies. It might be eating certain foods. I love spicy foods, and I know that if I eat something spicy, it kind of wakes up my taste buds. Or for me, even drinking water with lemon can just allow me to just feel clean and ready to take on something new. So I'm very curious what that is for you. We love hearing your thoughts on today's show. And if you need resources, again, I want you to reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. It's really important that we give you those resources so that you can stay motivated. And one of the things that I want to focus on as we kind of close out today's show is how you can, again, be that support for somebody else. It's easy to just go throughout our day, keep checking things off our to-do list, kind of robot mode. But I want you to think of one person today that might be going through a hard time. It's one person. Or maybe it's somebody you haven't talked to in a while and you have no idea what's going on in their life and you want to just kind of get a pulse as to what's going on. Call that person and listen. The biggest gift you can give to another person is to listen. If they want your advice, they'll ask. But one of the best things that we can do when we're in that frenzy state of mind, when we're sad, when we're frustrated, when we're overwhelmed, is we want to vent. We need that sounding board. We need someone to take the energy out of our mind, out of our bodies, and put it somewhere else. And so sometimes when you talk to someone, or in this case, you're a listener for another person, you allow yourself to take that energy from them and relieve their pain, relieve their stress. And that is something that we can all do. I know for me, I promise you, there's not one day that I don't go through something overwhelming. I think being legally blind just has caused me to become more patient. But every day, there's usually something I wish I could do that I can't do because visually I can't see it. But the thing is I could wish all day long in my day. And you can't change what is. But what you can do is you can ask for help. What you can do is get creative with learning and doing things a different way. So there's been times when I've been overwhelmed with, how am I going to get somewhere? Well, I could ask for a ride. I could take Uber. I could, take a cab. Even though I can't drive, there's always ways that I can get from A to B without getting overwhelmed and saying, I can't do it. Why even try? I shouldn't even go. Those are negative thoughts. We call them limiting beliefs. So I want you to think about, with what is overwhelming in your life today, what are you saying around that challenge? Are you empowering those negative thoughts? Are you encouraging them? Are you saying those N''T words, I couldn't, I shouldn't, I wouldn't? If you are, I want you to take those out of your vocabulary. I want you to stay away from saying no or not, or things that are going to hold you back from being the person you want to be. Most of all, when you're overwhelmed, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to visualize how you want your life to look. What are you wearing? What are you doing? Who are you hanging out with? What job are you working? And most of all, when you close your eyes and you're envisioning this dream life that you want to have, while you're thinking those thoughts, I want you to smile. And then as you're thinking those thoughts and they kind of conclude and you're done with them, I then want you to say something positive to yourself about being able to attain those goals. It all comes together in kind of a sequence. We think it, we talk positively about it, and when you do those things, overwhelm no longer controls you. You are the one who is the cheerleader, the advocate, the doer in your life. Never forget that you have that ability. I know for me, when I think about this show and all the callers we get and the emails we get and all the people that do benefit from the show, I know at the beginning of each show, through social media, I get people that are in pain. Nancy, I'm stressed out about my career. Nancy, I can't seem to lose weight, or I'm not feeling healthy. They're reaching out to me. I translate those ideas. I bring them around to you in every show. So please let us know by reaching out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. What challenges are you facing? We want to bring shows to you that motivate you, empower you, but are in tune with what you're going through. So we definitely look forward to hearing from you. I want to thank our whole entire Living Full Out team. We're all here to support you each week. Most of all, thank you for listening. And here's to you living your life full out. We will see you next week.